Yo, what's good guys? LeftBurst here, and today we are going to be doing my top 5 favorite Beyblade Burst characters. Now, I'm going to be using all the characters from Season 1 to Season 3 of the Beyblade Burst anime. Now, I haven't read the manga, so maybe there's some manga characters that I don't know about. Those are not going to be on the list because I don't know about them. So yeah, let's just get this list started. Oh yeah, before I start this, a little disclaimer. This is going to be my opinion, so like if your favorite blader isn't on the list, that means it's trash because my opinion's always valid. I'm joking, by the way. If your favorite character isn't on this list, that's fine. Like, it's just my opinion. You can have a different opinion. So yeah, let's get this started. In the number 5 slot, we have Xander, or Shaka in the Japanese anime. So yeah, Xander and Shaka, he's in the number 5 slot just because I think he's just like a genuine nice guy. Like, surprisingly, genuine nice guys, they're kind of hard to find in Burst. Like, you have like a billion jerks. Like, you got Fi, he breaks Beyblades. You got Louie, he breaks Beyblades. You got Shu, he breaks Beyblades. Everybody just breaks Beyblades, and Volt's just annoying. So yeah, number 5 slot Xander because he's a genuine nice guy. Now, actually, I think there's another genuine nice guy. His name is Toko. He appeared in, like, actually he's always appeared, but he had a major appearance in the season 3 of Beyblade Burst, and he's also a really nice guy. Like, everyone likes Toko, but the reason Xander's on this list instead of Toko is just because Xander, he's a nice guy, and he's like a super strong blader, alright? He's so strong. When he was first introduced and like the series, also, he's a nice guy, and he's like buff, like he's like steroids. Like, you would not expect this guy to be like a good guy because he just looks scary, but like he's just a really nice guy on the inside, and that's really nice to see. I don't know, I keep saying nice because that's like the one word I can describe Shaka with. He's just a really good guy. Anyway, so yeah, he wasn't only nice. In the season 1, he was so good too. He was in the top 4 bladers in all of Japan, guys. That's just crazy. And when he was first introduced, the double impact, it was just so awesome. In that last battle with Volt in the semifinals in the national tournament, that was so cool too. Also, there's just so many cool things that he's done, and that's why he's in the number 5 slot. Let me name another cool thing that he's done in season 2 in the Beyblade vs. God when he was first introduced, and we got that whole episode about Xander. He did the 100 Bladers challenge, which was just so cool. And then, like, I mean, it kinda, the coolness kinda wore off when Volt did it, and it's like, oh, I guess normal people can do it. Now, I'm not bashing on Volt. I actually kinda like Volt, but he didn't make on this list. Oh, spoilers. Anyway, so yeah, that's why Xander's in the number 5 slot. Just because he's a good guy and he's like super strong. It's like the best combo. But there's a lot of characters I like more than him. So yeah, let's move on to the next slot. In the number 4 slot, we have Ken, the guy with the puppets. Now, Ken is on this list just because I feel like Ken got like the most character development in the series. Like, first he comes off like he battled, the first time we saw Ken was when he battled Volt in the district tournament. Now, Ken at that time, he just seemed like a jerk. He was like telling Volt like a bunch of crap. He was like, oh my gosh, Volt, you're like so bad, you're not gonna be my Kirbyus. But then he joined the club and we got a lot of character development. The reason he talks with his puppets is because he's too shy to talk with his real voice, so he uses his puppets to like convey emotion. And then throughout the series, when we realize Ken's leaving, we see that Ken got close enough to his club members that he started talking with his real voice, and that was really touching. And the time where he went up to Shu and he was like, Shu, I like really look up to you, that was just so awesome. And then afterwards, when we see Ken with his new group of friends and seeing that he was able to make new group of friends even though he's shy, that is just so sweet and heartwarming. And the final scene where we see Ken, the final battle we see Ken, oh my gosh, Ken didn't show up in the God or the Chosetsu anime. It shows that we got replaced with Kyle. Ken got replaced with Kyle. It's so bad. I'm so sad. I really wish Ken would appear again. But yeah, that final battle we saw with Ken, sorry, let me state that, was in the national tournament against Shu, and just seeing like Ken versus Shu, everybody was rooting for Ken, and you could see Ken putting all his like willpower into that battle, but it just wasn't enough. Louie seemed to beat him, but yeah, that's why Ken's on this list, just because I think he had some crazy character development. He's definitely a really likable Ken. He's a really likable Ken. He's a very likable character, and if he's your favorite character, I definitely respect that. So yeah, moving on to the number 3 slot. In the number 3 slot, we have Free De La Hoya. Now, Free De La Hoya, he's pretty high on this list, but I would bargain. Jake would probably say, why is Free De La Hoya so low on this list? I think number 3's pretty high on this list. Anyway, Free De La Hoya's on this list just because he has such a cool character. His main trait is, I don't care, I'm lazy, whatever. So yeah, that is just awesome. And seeing him like, and he was depicted as the number 1 blader in the Beyblade Burst Goth series, and that was just so cool, because up until this point, we haven't really seen a number 1 blader. Well, we saw Louie, but like, we only knew the number 1 blader in Japan. We didn't know in the world. In the world, we saw Free, and just seeing a character that's like better than Louie, like that was just crazy at the time. And he just gave like, I don't care, you guys are all under me personality when he was first revealed. Like, remember when he was first revealed in Vault 1's battle? He's like, sure, I'll battle you with my hand. And it was just so savage. It was just so awesome to see. And like later in the series, when we see Free go from like I don't care personality to super tryhard and the veins popping out and like going crazy, like a crazy battle against Vault, that was just wicked. Now that's wicked. Now that's legitness right there. So yeah, that's why Free's on this list, just because he has like this really like cool personality, and he can like turn into a super tryhard when he wants to. Anyway, and also he's coming back in the Cho series, which is so awesome. I really wish more characters would come back in the Cho series. Sadly, we can't get Ken to come back because like Kyle freaking stole his Beyblade. Daiga can come back. Daiga almost made this list. Daiga's a really cool character in my opinion too. Who else do I want in the Cho? Obviously Shu, but Shu's already made an appearance. But is he gonna have a new Beyblade? Oh yeah, there's a leak of like a new Spriggan coming out, but like it definitely looks like a Spriggan. I'm not gonna lie, definitely looks like a Spriggan. I'm really hyped for that, and I can't wait for that to come out. The colors are kind of off. I kind of wish they went with the more Storm Spriggan colors, but if it's a Cho-Z Spriggan, I'm down for anything. Anyway, so yeah, I went on a little tangent there. Moving on to the number 2 slot. In the number 2 slot, we have the character Louie Shirasaki. Now, I know I just talked about Louie Shirasaki when I was talking about Free, but Louie Shirasaki, he's just such a like weird character. Like his hair is just on fire. He's just so interesting. He's like a character that nobody understands. Nobody understands Louie, but he's just so cool. And the thing about Louie is during the first season, like Free, he was depicted as like the strongest blader in all the land, or at least in all of Japan. And not only was he the strongest blader, he was given kind of a backstory. So Guy and Gaia's owner and Louie, they went to the same school, and when Gaia's owner first met Louie, he was kind of a shy kid, he didn't talk, but then Louie realized that Guy and Gaia was like interested in Beyblades, and that got Louie sparked and interested. So it gives Louie kind of like this kind of like relatable feel, like being a shy character but having a passion for something, kind of like makes him kind of give him a human feel, because before that Louie didn't see human at all. He had like fire hair, but giving him like this kind of backstory made him seem like human. That's something that I don't like about Fi. Fi is just kind of like this crazy character. Like, I can't relate to Fi at all, but to Louie, I can definitely relate. I definitely like how he showed up in the God series, and then Shu just totally demolished his longness, and the way, like, after his longness shattered, the way he just gave off this evil laugh. Like, he wasn't, like, crying, like, remorsing over his Beyblade like Shu, or, like, Laban, or, like, any of the other characters. He was just giving this, like, creepy laugh, which is just like not normal. It's like there's something wrong with him, which I know that's kind of weird to say, but I think that's just really cool. So yeah, that's why Louie is gonna be in the number 2 slot. I'm sorry if I didn't explain it well enough. I just kind of really like his character. Anyway, moving on to the number 1 slot. Actually, before I move on to the number 1 slot, let me give some honorable mentions. Of course, we have Toko. Toko's an honorable mention. He's a nice guy, but again, he just doesn't have the power behind him. Another honorable mention is, again, Vault. He's like, we saw him throughout the series, we saw him grown, of course he's the main character, and I really like how he was depicted in season 1 as being like this Beyblade genius, but he hasn't like tapped into his power yet. That was really awesome, but the reason why he didn't make it on this list is because I just don't think he got really that much character development throughout the whole entire series. He's just kind of like there. Like, he hasn't changed at all. Like, you see him in, like, the season 1, and he, like, trips when he's first introduced, like, going on stage. He's, like, really nervous. And then, like, in season 3, where he seemed to be, like, the best blader in all the land, he's still, like, this clumsy guy. So, like, I feel like he hasn't gotten, like, any character development. And that's why he didn't make it on this list, although I do like his character. And another honorable mention is, let me think of another one real quick. Oh yeah, Fi. Fi's an honorable mention because he's a cool character, but again, I can't really relate to him. So yeah, moving on to the number 1 slot. And the number 1 slot, probably very predictable because I say it a lot because he is my favorite character. In the number 1 slot, we have Shu Kurenai. Now, Shu Kurenai, of course, he's in the number 1 slot because he is the best character in the world. And let me just say that if you do not like Shu Kurenai, it's either because you don't like him because he's overrated, because other people. I'm joking. If you don't like him, you probably have a valid reason for him. I just really like him. So yeah, he's on this list because he is the character. I know I said Ken had a lot of character development, but I feel like Shu had even more character development. Like, oh my gosh, he was depicted first as this like really cool genius blader, like one of the top 4 bladers in Japan, and then he just tried as hard. He had this bond to Vault, like they had this friendship where they wanted to succeed and meet each other in the finals, and he put everything into that promise. And just to see him lose against Louie Shirasaki, not only lose to Louie Shirasaki, but his partner Spriggan break, that was really heartwarming, or not heartwarming, that was really heartbreaking. And then just seeing him like afterwards, oh my gosh, you can definitely relate to him in the God series. In the God series, that really got to him. The breaking of his Spriggan and getting that revenge on Louie, just not having enough power to beat Louie, that got to him. And that's when he someone took advantage of him. The leader of the New York Bulls, they took advantage of him. They made him Red Eye and gave him Legend Spriggan. And then he just totally went obsessed with power right there. He was just he just wanted power because he thought if he had power, he could beat anyone in the world and he wouldn't have to go through that experience he went with breaking Storm Spriggan. But then, he versed Louie Shirasaki again in the God series, and Louie beat Spriggan, and then broke his mask and revealed that he was Shu. And the moment we saw Vault seeing Shu for the first time in the God series, Shu being Red-Eye, that was so awesome. Like, Vault was just like, he was speechless. He didn't know what to say. He was just like, Shu, what happened, Shu? And seeing Shu's reaction, seeing how much Shu changed, like, in the first season, it was all, like, friendship. Like, I want to be friends with Vault. Like, I'm gonna invest everything into this promise I made with Vault. And seeing him in the God series when he broke his mask, just like yelling, that was so out of character, and it's just so awesome. And then he throws away Legend Spriggan, which he would never have done with Storm Spriggan, to get a more powerful Bay. And that dream series we saw with Shu and him like taking down Louie, and like metaphorically taking down Louie and taking down Free, that was so awesome. And finally, when he's beaten by Vault and he's turned back to like that good guy he is, that is just so heartwarming and touching. And finally, in the Chosetsu series, when we see him like training Fubuki, and like he's just so wise now. He went through so much. He's such a wise man now. So yeah, that's why Shu is on this list, just because I think he went through the most character development throughout all the Beyblade characters. He has the most character development throughout. He has the most character development. That's what I'm trying to say. He has the most character development out of all the characters. So yeah, that was my top 5 Beyblade characters. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. If you guys want to see more top 5 lists, if you guys want to see my top 5 worst Beyblade characters, leave a like. Maybe I'll do that later this month or maybe next week. Yeah, so yeah, remember to rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. Have a nice day. LeftBurst out.